Dogs, doggos, puppers, love them. They are companions. Oh, look at this cute good boy. Oh, look at you. Oh, you're such a good boy. Oh, yes, you are. Oh, yes, you are. Dogs help us when we're down, help us exercise, assist the blind, save people from fires, smell of cancer. Needless to say, they earned the title, man's best friend. Honestly, if you try to argue cats are better, I don't know what to say. Like, you're delusional. Better at what? Sitting around all day? Licking their assholes? Honestly, I feel like people that argue that cats are better have not grasped the fact that a cat would literally sit and watch you die and then proceed to eat your corpse a few weeks later. But these boys, these good boys right here, are special. We make songs about them, art, shows, memes, even gospels about them. Some may say dogs are even higher than humans in the modern day social hierarchy pyramid. And honestly, I wouldn't argue with that, considering we are in a modern day society where a serial killer could be romanticized into a modern day Wattpad, Tumblr fanfic heartthrob. But let a person be responsible for the harm of a mass assassination of puppies, and people will be rallying the streets for said person to be publicly crucified on top of Capitol Hill. But that aside, there is one dog that stood above the rest. Even humans fell short in trying to replicate his greatness. A dog so great, he took 5 different teams and 5 different sports to the championships and was an essential player on all of them. It's still a mystery to me how this dog never got signed to a team. Stupid politics. A dog so great that he gets the same legal rights as an adult male. A dog I would take out for a drink and play poker with. The late, the great, Air Bud. In the late 90s and early 2000s, Hollywood, and especially Disney, had a weird obsession with movies centering around talking or hyper-intelligent animals, albeit from Beethoven to Dr. Dolittle, 101 Dalmatians, Cats and Dogs, and all the way to Shaggy Dog in 2006. Now, prior to researching for this film, I was unaware of how many goddamn movies are in this series, so how I will structure this retrospective will be out of order because I will review these movies based on how I watched them when I was younger. So I'll start with Air Buddies, then the rest of the Buddies movies, and then the original Bud movies that came prior, and possibly whatever else if I feel like it. The Buddies series is one of Disney's top grossing movie series, starting back in 1997, based off the title dog and main character Buddy, who was a golden retriever featured on America's Funniest Home Videos. He later passed away in 1998 after the release of the first film, but his legacy lived on as this series proceeded to release 13 more films and 2 spin-offs. The original concept was simple. A dog who was a sideshow attraction with a clown, who was abused by that clown and is found by a down-on-his-luck kid who recently lost his father. The kid discovers that this dog is somehow skilled with sports and uses Buddy to bring his basketball team to the championships. The movie is kinda dumb, but it's a cute kinda dumb. The resolution to this film is a judge in the court of law deeming Buddy to be an adult in dog years and should be allowed to choose his own owner.
Well, I've been thinking, this dog's what, 3, 4 years old? That makes him an adult in our years. I say let Buddy decide.
Mr. Cheney, during my 40 years on the bench, I have heard a lot of lame-brain cockamamie proposals. But this one, I like.
But we aren't talking about Air Bud. We are talking about the Buddies movies, which proceeded to soft reboot the original series, write off Buddy's original children, and also made the dogs as intelligent as humans, if not smarter, with the added ability to talk to each other with CGI mouths. And this is where young Jordan entered in, wide-eyed, dopamine hyped, and ready to latch onto any action or adventure-themed show or movie with a Power Ranger-esque dynamic. These Buddies movies were heavily advertised by Disney, and something about them had me consistently crawling back to consume the content even though the concept seemed to get increasingly more insane and nonsensical. The Buddies movies revolve around Buddy and a dog introduced as the female counterpart to Buddy in the 3rd film named Molly, and their 5 unaging pups, B-Dog, Mudbug, Butterball, Buddha, and Rosebud, completely disregarding Buddy and Molly's other kids, Shooter, Zack, Duke, and Striker, but they don't matter anymore. Each pup is defined by a key characteristic, usually associated with their names. You got B-Dog, defined by his diamond-encrusted B-chain, love of basketball, rap, bling, and ending his sentences with dog, whether or not his character is built on racist stereotypes or caricatures, or is just a stereotypical urban comedic relief character that is popular in this time in family comedy films, I'll leave that to interpretation. Mudbud, who, as the name suggests, just like being dirty and rolling around in mud. And yeah, that's pretty much all his character traits. Butterball, who is really just there for fart jokes and haha, he's so funny, he hungry, he eat all the time memes. Buddha, the stoner of the group, who likes to meditate. And then there's Rosebud, who is the only sister, and the only way I can really describe her is like, you put every stereotypical girl trait from early 2000 movies and jam them into one, and that's pretty much her. The first movie of this series I watched was Air Buddies. Something about the old ads for these movies hit every single dopamine receptor in my brain, getting me to drag my father to our local Food Lion so we could rent it from Redbox. So due to that, the first movie I'm going to go over in this retrospective will be Air Buddies. Now, whether or not this movie holds up is kind of due to interpretation, because I feel that the very practical effects and obvious ball and string baiting that the puppies and dogs followed kind of adds a sort of allure to these films. But at the same time, that doesn't really excuse the dialogue and story beat choices, which were kind of horrid. The movie starts off with a
Last time on Dragon Ball Z
style intro to get you caught up with the lore of the Air Bud movies and to retcon the existence of Buddy's original pups. This movie wastes no time to show that the one primary difference between this movie and the previous Bud movies before is now for some reason all the animals can talk and communicate with each other. And the plot is primarily about the pups and the pups only. Like the humans are not a factor in the plot, as opposed to the previous movies, which usually have a very heartfelt man's best friend message or a father-son bond message, so much so that at some points in the movie, it felt like the animals and humans narratively switched roles because the humans in this movie were dumb as bricks. And outside of the main antagonists, the humans, like I said, were practically non-factors. Hell, the movie pretty much shoves it in your face because in the beginning, Buddy and Noah, the new main boy, are getting ready for a basketball game, and we don't even get to see it. Nah, we gotta watch the pups get babysat by a nanny and trap her in a very Rugrats-like scene. Upon arrival, Noah and his family see this horrific scene and decide that taking care of a hyper-intelligent dog and his 5 hyper-intelligent pups are too much to handle for them, I guess, and decide to separate them and give them up for adoption. After this scene, we enter the lair of the main antagonist of this movie. Now, at first glance, you may have thought I am showing you a scene from a cheesy 1990s action movie, but no, this is still the same film. I mean, these villains seem like they are a mismatch of every single character trait from 80s Bond villains, Bulk and Skull, and the robbers from Home Alone. Like, the lair looks like it's from Power Rangers. The main antagonist, Selkirk Tanghurst, is being solicited by some rich dude to give his son, Bling Bling Boy, some exotic pet. I can't even begin to comprehend what type of accent he's using or country of origin he's trying to display he's from, but no doubt is probably offensive. Like, this dude uses a different accent each time we see him.
And you too, Mr. Bartleby. They don't want the tiger. They want Airbud. And take my idiot nephew with you.
He first offers Bling Bling Boy a tiger, which Bling Bling Boy turns down and loudly exclaims he wants a sports-playing dog like Airbud. His father then offers $500,000 to Selkirk for the capture of Buddy, and Selkirk gets his nephew and assistant to retrieve Buddy. Damn. This was definitely the type of dude that would waste his money on a Master Ball just to try and fail to capture another trainer's Pokemon. Might be a little nitpicky here, but I have a few questions. Out of all the places that this rich guy and Bling Bling Boy could have gone for an exotic pet, why did they go with the special arms dealer from an unknown country of origin looking dude? Like, if the lair that looks like Jabba's palace and the tiger weren't red flags, then what is? Like, I understand that these type of movies always have this narrative that white-collar rich dudes and their sons are inherently evil and snobby, but this is making them out to be pure retards. And also, $500,000? Are you serious? Like, I know he's supposed to be rich, but in no world would I ever come into an exorbitant amount of money and just freely drop $500,000 on my child just because they are having a tantrum. Like, that kid better suck it up, or the only thing he'll be gifted is a backhand to the in GTA, of course, in GTA. If the rich guy had that much money to drop, why didn't he just go and negotiate with the family about breeding options or something? So, after that, we then see a montage of Buddy, Noah, and Henry's family evaluating potential adopters. If I failed to mention Henry, he's Molly's owner and Henry's best friend / sidekick. He's just barely a character in this film, like most humans in this movie, so I forget to talk about him sometimes. This scene also seemingly answers why Buddy and Molly seem to appear as deadbeats, since they seem so willing and ready to just give up their children all willy-nilly. Because it seems like these sentient pups are not just companions, but also life coaches and therapists whose sole mission is to find clients with potential and make them top G's. At least that's what Buddy and Molly are making it seem like, since they are having the pups go from child to child, evaluating certain issues each child has and why it makes them a beta. The buddies decide to say "F that" and decided to hit the dash on the family before daybreak. The buddies run into a city and get captured by Bulk and Skull, who were using them as bait to capture Buddy and Molly. Bulk and Skull successfully capture them and take them back to Selkirk, who angrily sends Bulk and Skull back out to recapture the buddies because the market value on a bunch of untrained golden retriever pups is $500,000 also, I guess.
Do you realize why they are called golden retrievers? Because that's what they're worth. Gold.
Okay, that makes sense. Selkirk is also seemingly threatening their lives with a tiger, which makes me question why they would even return to the lair when they leave. But anyway, Noah and Henry's family go out to look for the dogs, to no dismay, as Bulk and Skull go to some drive-in movie theater that the buddies just so happen to sniff their way to. They then have their cliche Rugrats loose in the movie theater scene where the dogs start stepping in front of the projector screen to show their huge shadows, get behind a snack booth, and make their way into the popcorn and snacks until the customer freaks out and screams the obvious. You know, the usual story beats. The puppies escape due to the help of some puppy-loving bikers and cliches. The puppies move on to go search for their parents, and we are fed another useless scene with Noah and his family talking about looking for the pets, which really get us nowhere, so there's really no use in talking about it.
Buddha, come on. A girl needs her beauty sleep. Who are you talking to anyways? I'm meditating, absorbing positive energy.
I'd positively like to absorb a Pop-Tart.
The puppies are then followed by Bulk and Skull to some farm where they trap them and escape with the help of other farm animals. The movie then shows us some useless scene about Noah and his friend getting sprayed by a skunk or something? I don't know. Like I said, the humans are really irrelevant to this plot, so this part is useless to me. Like, I swear, I'm going to compare the screen time of the main human families in each of these movies because I will bet money it gets progressively less through each movie. The buddies are now traveling through some forest until they encounter some wolf who nonchalantly takes them under his wing for no apparent reason and leads them to some manor where Buddy and Molly are being held. The wolf then says he can't go any further because the plot doesn't want him to and gives the pup some useless going away quote.
But that's why we howl, to let one another know that even though we may feel alone, we never really are.
And wait, isn't that like directly against the nature of wolves? Like, don't they specifically travel in packs? So the buddies sneak into the wine vineyard and make their way to the cell Buddy and Molly were being held. Coincidentally, at the exact same time, The rich dude and Bling Bling Boy arrive, and instead of finding Buddy and Molly, they found the buddies in their place. Selkirk tries to play the sell off until Noah and Henry decide they want to be relevant to the plot, and the puppies escape. Shenanigans then ensue. Stellar acting, Oscar-worthy even. One of the puppies get drunk.
Where have my buddies gone? Oh, where can it be?
And the wine barrels get knocked over and sweep away Selkirk and the rich guy, and big MCU-esque third act style. The movie then rushes into some conclusions showing that the buddies are now somehow ready to get adopted, and Butterball immediately runs into Bling Bling Boy's arms, which confuses me because there was no type of character development that at least I saw in this journey at all that pointed to them learning to be independent and brave enough to go their separate ways. If anything, it seems like this journey brought them closer together. Like, I understand the whole howling BS the wolf told them, but the conclusion still doesn't make sense to me. But that aside, the movie ends with a shot of them all getting used to their new families and howling at each other in the night sky. Overall, the movie is a cute little dumb movie that honestly didn't age as well as I thought it was. Not to say it was the absolute worst thing on the planet, but something about it just felt hollow. It's like every single story beat in this movie was copied from something else, but they half-assed everything they were copying. And due to everything seeming so half-assed and original, it makes it come off as bland. So bland that even nostalgia couldn't save it much for me. Overall, I'll give the movie 5 Iggies out of 10 blues. So, mediocre. Will probably change as I watch more of them. Was going to go over Snow Buddies in this video, but this video has gone on long enough, and I still gotta edit all of this. So, I'll save that for part 2, where I'll go over Snow Buddies and Space Buddies. That'll be coming out around, But yeah, if you're still with me, thanks for sticking with me through this vid. Part 2 coming soon. New Scooby-Doo review on the way soon. And like, comment, and subscribe if you want. Like, no one's forcing you, but last I checked, all the cool kids are doing it. So, see ya.
I've captured panthers with my own hands. Have you ever seen the claws on a panther?